It's 3:07 p.m., and Emma has read the same email 3 times. She rubs her forehead and stares at the screen. Still nothing. She can't focus. But that's not the worst part. For the 3rd time this week, she's secretly unbuttoning her jeans under her desk. Nobody notices. But she notices. Her lower stomach feels swollen, tight, heavy, which makes absolutely no sense, because this morning she felt completely normal. Her clothes fit. Her stomach looked flatter. Everything felt fine. Now she feels like a different person.
How can a body change this much in just a few hours?
And the strange part? Lunch wasn't fast food. It wasn't pizza. It wasn't burgers. It was a salad.
This fruit smoothie is amazing.
It looks so fresh.
Is that strawberry on top?
And a smoothie. The kind of meal everyone calls healthy. And why does this keep happening? Again, and again, and again. Some mornings she feels hopeful. By evening, she feels defeated. She starts wondering, am I gaining weight? But weight doesn't appear in 6 hours, so what is she actually seeing? What Emma didn't know was that the answer had nothing to do with laziness, nothing to do with willpower, and maybe nothing to do with fat. For years, Emma thought the problem was her weight. Maybe she'd gained a few pounds. Maybe she needed more exercise, so she exercised more. She ate healthier, skipped desserts, drank more water. Yet somehow, nothing changed. Actually, some days she felt worse. Without realizing it, she started hiding her stomach, pulling her shirt down, again and again. Then came the photos. Everyone else looked normal.
Look how happy we were.
And look at you too.
My beautiful family.
Emma only looked at one thing, her lower belly. Emma gets embarrassed to see her side belly in the photos and starts tearing the photos one by one.
Oh, my side belly, this is so embarrassing.
Not because she hated herself, because she didn't understand what was happening. The weirdest part? Every morning felt different. Some mornings she looked almost normal. Those mornings gave her hope. Then evening arrived. And the belly came back, every single time. Weeks passed, then months. Still no answers. Maybe hormones, maybe stress, maybe age. Maybe she simply wasn't trying hard enough. That thought hurt the most. Then something happened. Monday morning, eggs for breakfast. She felt great all day. Tuesday morning, a giant fruit smoothie. Wednesday morning, granola, the kind of breakfast social media loves. By 2 p.m., everything changed. The bloating was back. Pressure, discomfort, swelling. Same woman, same calories, different outcome. And for the first time, Emma stopped blaming herself. Maybe the problem wasn't how much she was eating. Maybe the problem started after she ate. Imagine your gut is a giant kitchen. Every meal arrives as ingredients. Normally, workers break everything down. Everything gets sorted. Everything gets delivered. Everything works. But what happens if some workers don't show up? Now, ingredients start piling up. The kitchen becomes crowded, confused, chaotic. Something similar can happen inside your digestive system. Some sugars and starches aren't always handled efficiently. Instead of being processed smoothly, they keep moving. And that's when your gut bacteria get involved. To them, it's an unexpected feast. They start feeding. Gas begins to build. Pressure begins to build. and suddenly your stomach feels different. Not over weeks, not over months, sometimes in a single afternoon. That's exactly what Emma was experiencing. She wasn't imagining it. The change was real. But here's where things get confusing. The scale barely changed, yet her body looked different. So naturally, she assumed it was fat. But fat doesn't appear in 6 hours. Fat doesn't work that fast. And that's when Emma started asking a different question. Why did some foods make her feel amazing, while others made her feel miserable? So she started paying attention. Not calories, not weight, just patterns. And what she discovered surprised her, because some of her biggest triggers weren't junk food. They were foods she'd always believed were healthy. Emma expected to find burgers, pizza, junk food, but that wasn't what kept showing up.
Wait, what? A fruit smoothie?
One of the first foods she noticed was her giant morning smoothie. Bananas, honey, sweet fruits, fruit juice, everything blended together. It looked healthy. Maybe it was healthy, but her body wasn't loving it. Then came the granola, one of those foods people assume is automatically good for everyone. Sweet yogurts, breakfast cereals, snack bars, even the expensive ones. The foods she trusted most were often showing up before her symptoms. Then she noticed something else. Large portions of starch-heavy foods, white bread, pasta, potatoes. Not every time, not perfectly, but often enough to notice a pattern. And patterns change everything. Because the goal isn't to blame foods. The goal is to understand your body's response. Two women can eat the exact same lunch.
This is so good. It really is, so fresh. We should do this more often.
One feels amazing. The other feels bloated all afternoon. That realization changed everything.
Because instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" ask your doctor. Early detection is key.
What is my body reacting to?
And that's when she decided to run a simple experiment. Not a diet, not punishment, an experiment. And what happened next surprised her. Because the goal wasn't eating less, it was eating differently. Emma didn't start another diet. She'd already tried enough of those. This time she became a detective. She started tracking food and tracking symptoms, not calories, not weight, patterns. She gave herself 30 days. For a while, she reduced giant fruit smoothies, granola, sweet cereals, frequent snack bars, large portions of white bread, and starch-heavy meals that often left her bloated. Notice the word reduce, not eliminate forever. Reduce. At the same time, she added foods that seemed easier on her body. Eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, chicken, berries, cucumber, zucchini, leafy greens, simple whole foods, meals that left her satisfied, not swollen. Week 1. Nothing dramatic happened, but she noticed less pressure and fewer afternoons where she felt miserable. Week 2. Her energy started improving. Focus became easier, and the bloating wasn't showing up as often. Week 3.
Oh, thank you, but I can't.
Are you sure?
The surprise arrived. Her cravings became quieter, not because she had more willpower, because she wasn't fighting her body all day. Week 4. Emma noticed something she'd almost forgotten. Her morning stomach looked much closer to her evening stomach. The dramatic difference was shrinking. Her clothes felt more predictable, and for the first time in years, she felt in control. Not because she'd found a miracle cure, because she'd finally started listening to her body. But something else improved too. Something she never expected. As the bloating improved, Emma started noticing something unexpected. It wasn't just her stomach. Her concentration improved. The afternoon crashes weren't as intense. That horrible 3 p.m. feeling started disappearing. Not overnight, but gradually. Then came the cravings. Every afternoon, she used to hunt for something sweet. Chocolate, cookies, anything. Now those cravings felt quieter. Not because she suddenly became super disciplined, because her body wasn't constantly demanding relief. Then she noticed something else. She was more present, more engaged, more herself. Some people even notice changes in their skin. Others notice improvements in energy or mood. Because when your digestive system is struggling, the effects rarely stay in your stomach. Everything in the body is connected. Your gut influences how you feel, how you function, and sometimes how you see yourself. For years, Emma thought she had a weight problem, but the scale was never the whole story. The bloating, the fatigue, the cravings, the frustration, they were all connected. And once she understood that, everything started making more sense. Not perfect, just better. And sometimes, better is exactly where healing begins. Maybe your body isn't broken. Maybe it's trying to tell you something. If you've spent years blaming yourself, you are not alone. Millions of women are fighting battles nobody else can see. It's understanding what your body is reacting to. Because the moment you stop fighting your body, you can finally start working with it. Now tell me in the comments, morning belly or evening belly? I read every comment. And if you've ever felt like healthy habits were somehow making you feel worse, you're exactly who this channel was created for.